Hi guys, this is Terence here. What I'd like to show you today is a case study of how we helped a client in the seminar space to actually increase the number of registrations and attendees and show up rates at the event. So this is a case study based on a client in Malaysia. Alright, so they are in the business of training people on how to invest in the stock market, right? In the US stock market. So the whole model is basically they get people to attend the preview event, and at the preview event, they educate them and give them the opportunity to purchase a $2,000 training, and I'm talking US $2,000 roughly, right? Okay, so this is their campaign before we started working with them. All right, so as you can see, they were doing pretty okay. I mean, they were getting like 170 registrations for the event in this case, and I actually picked the best events. So some events were much less, but I actually picked the best event so that they were running so that we can kind of compare how we actually improved it, right? Rather than pick the worst event, which is easy to kind of improve on, right? So yeah, so they managed to get 170 registrations for this particular event. And the cost, so in US dollars, it's roughly divide that number by 4. So you're talking about 20 US dollars to get one registration, which, you know, it's not too bad at all, considering they're selling a $2,000 package in the back end with further upsells, right? So what they had to spend to acquire 170 registrations was around 13,000, which is about just over 3,000 USD. All right, so the main challenge when it came to me was not so much to reduce the costs, but to actually increase the number of registrations, because they have this funnel that's working already, and they just needed to pump the numbers into the funnel, right, to make it more profitable and scalable. And they had tried all sorts of things, and obviously running their own Facebook ads as well, but yeah, they couldn't get the results that they wanted to grow the business. So this is what I'd like to show you next is the second campaign that we ran for them in the same space, right? So as you can see, we managed to more than double the number of registrations that they had from 170 in the first case to 360. Okay, and we also managed to reduce the cost per registration from 70, close to 80 local currency down to about 27 in local currency. Once again, divide that by 4 if you want exact US dollar figures, right? Okay, so we managed to double their registrations and reduce the cost by about, 2/3 at the same time. And at the same time, we are actually spending less compared to the first campaign. So overall, they had a decrease in costs, actual costs. They had a decrease in registration, cost per registration, and also a increase of double in the actual numbers that are registered for the event. Okay, so this was about over a year ago when we first started working with them. And I like to show you, because you're probably thinking, oh, that's just a once-off fluke, right? So I want to show you the last campaign that we did, which was just completed last month. Okay, so once again, we are still hitting over 300, close to 350 in this case. For registrations, we actually shut it down. We actually could get more, but because of space constraints, we actually stopped the campaign. Okay, and cost has gone up a bit, but as I mentioned, they're selling the back end for about $2,000, and it's costing them less than $10 per registration, right? In terms of US dollars, so it's still pretty good. And we also still cost is fairly decent, right? Reason for this cost rise is mainly because in the past year there has been an influx of advertisers on Facebook, right? So because Facebook works on the bidding system, so the more people that come to bid, obviously costs get higher, and we've seen costs definitely increase on a cost per impression basis. So there's very little we can do about that. So we still manage to we're still keeping costs relatively low, which is great. And to be honest, in some cases we had campaigns where costs actually went to 40 plus local currency, but it's still a good earn for them because yeah, they're getting $2,000 conversions in the back end. Okay, so one of the other key things I want to mention as well is that you're probably wondering, okay, out of these people that register, how many actually attend, right? So from recollection, when they first engaged us, they were talking about there was a 30% what you call that registration to attendance ratio. Now we're averaging over 40%. So we actually increased that on average by about 10%, I believe. Now, there are various strategies we put into place in order to achieve this. And one of them, one of the few initiators, was to actually retarget people who registered for the event, so that they're actually reminded about the event. Okay, and that's one way to do it. And of course, we had other strategies that we put in place as well to make sure more registrations show up for the free event. Okay, and in some cases we actually hit over 50% show up rate. Okay, so yeah, that's why we kind of had to limit the numbers in each case, because the room is limited to 200 people only, so we can't fit in more than 200 people. And in some cases we had more than 200 people. They actually had to use an overflow room, and those people in the overflow room were watching a live feed, which is obviously not that as good as seeing the person live, right? So that's been the scenario. And I just also want to point out this 335 is probably on the low end, because actual registrations we actually had, I think, of over 420. Why this discrepancy? Is because we allow people to actually bring a friend along. Okay, so there are people who actually bring their friends along, and which increases the actual number. And we also have people coming in from different channels as well, and referrals, of course, which go directly to the event, which don't come through Facebook. So yeah, all in all, it's been a successful outcome for them. So I just want to, before we leave, I just want to basically show you how the ad was and what we actually changed to make this massive improvement in the ad performance. So one of the key things was basically the ad copy itself and the ad messaging, right? So I just want to show you briefly what it looks like. Okay. Okay, so this is the current ad copy. Now, to be honest, we have gone through so many versions with changes in images, in headlines, and all that stuff. It's like incredible. Why we had to do this? Well, first of all, we want to optimize our ads to see what works. And secondly, people there's a thing called ad fatigue, right? So after seeing the ad a few times, people tend to ignore it. So we need to use different approaches to get people, right, to get their attention. And also, this, for example, this hook about, replacing your full-time job by investing may appeal to some people, but it also may not appeal to other people, because some other people may like to work. They don't want to quit the job, but they might want a second income, right? So we have to try all these different approaches to target different people with different hot buttons. So it's not like you can kind of do an ad, put it out there, and forget about it. So this ad may work right now, but maybe next month we have to, change it to something else. And we're constantly split testing this ad as well, along with the landing pages and the whole funnel, right? So that we keep optimizing the performance of our ads and our funnels. All right, the second thing we did was also target better audiences. So previously they were targeting pretty much interest-based audiences only. So when we came in, we actually started creating lookalike audiences. We started, creating retargeting audiences, and better audience targeting has also resulted in a reduction and better performance. Okay, so these are probably the three things that we did: better landing pages, better copy, and better targeting. All right, so that's how we managed to achieve this. And I know that Facebook ads works for most people in the seminar space, and I hope this has inspired you to give it a try yourself. Or if you think this is something that you like a professional, an expert to actually manage, please feel free to contact us. We'll be happy to see whether we can help you out, and whether we have a good fit working together. So thank you so much for watching this. Hope this was very interesting for you, and hope it inspired you to take action and gave you some ideas to grow your business as well. Thank you.